Like I said, my name is Scott Bauer. I'm with KL Shane. This is a training for the Wiles sump pumps in the UV building. I think you guys are you guys familiar with these pumps at all? I think you guys have a few here. This was for the NRP contract 2, which I think it was TA11 that did that project, right? It's doing that. So that's what one looks like if you see some around here. The bill of materials on the pumps. There's a quantity of 2 of the Wiles pump model 1601 floor-mounted submersible sump pumps. Hold on one second.
Probably got one more, though.
Any difference between 1A and 1B?
No.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. So you have 2 of the model 1601 floor-mounted submersible sump pumps. For the project, they were tagged SP1A and SP1B. I don't know if you guys use those tags or not. That's just what they were in the project. You do? Okay. Pumps are rated for 50 gallons per minute, 20 feet ahead. They have a 3/4 horse, 460 volt, 3-phase, 1750 RPM, 60 hertz motor with a 2-inch discharge, 25-foot power cord. You got moisture and temperature sensors to feed your alarms. Cast iron impeller, and they got a coated Tnemec 140-foot epox paint.
You know the approximate weight of the pump?
I can get that for you.
That'd be great.
Okay.
400 pounds.
If you guys have any questions, shout them out. If I don't know them, I'll write them down and give them to you.
Just want to get it put.
Maybe less than 200 pounds, but it would be more than 100.
Just thinking how they pull it out.
Over what weight would you use a hoist?
Probably 100 pounds.
Okay.
I wouldn't want somebody, I wouldn't from an injury standpoint.
Okay.
Yanking on it.
I would use the hoist then.
100 pound.
They're pretty robust pumps. Since at 3/4 horsepower, they may be a little smaller, but they're pretty thick. All right, you guys received with the pumps. There's 2 pumps. You got 1 set of spare parts packages that were included. You had 1 set of upper ball bearings, 1 set of lower ball bearings, 1 set of the double mechanical seals, 1 set of lock washers, O-rings, and gaskets. This is our firm here at KL Shane with our phone number and fax number for replacement parts. They had 2 pumps and only 1 set of parts. So I don't know if you guys want to keep ahead of it and get another set.
Can you write down another question? We'll go to the part numbers for those parts and use the pricing for those parts.
Okay.
What it is, we put them in the computer as a spare part. So we want to have a manufacturer spare part, and of course, we would order them through you.
Okay.
If we use those, we want to replace them.
Question two. These motors, these bearings, are they for the electric motor part of it? Is it just pretty much electric motor with the shaft extended and propeller mount on it?
Right, the shaft extended down the
So
impeller.
isn't that UL rated? So if you open this thing up, does it violate the UL rating of this motor?
No,
Is it not certified to recertify the motor?
no, you won't have to recertify the motor. No. They should put a. Were you gonna put a new motor in there? It was.
I mean, you're supplying the bearings for the motor, right? Right?
Well, the bearings aren't really the part of the motor. They're part of the pump, and they're around the shaft. So the bearings don't have any effect on the motor. The UL rating of the motor.
But you have to open it up. That's what you want to do, right?
Yeah, it won't. You won't have to recertify the motor, unless you put another motor in there that's not UL certified. Is the only reason I would think that you would have any issue with that.
I thought only a motor shop, the UL recertify a motor being submerged.
Complete submersible electric motor, pump combination, when you open it up, you've got to have it recertified.
Oh, do you really?
It can get electrocuted if it hasn't been put together properly at the right pressure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can understand, you know, if your pellet or something happens in the pellet, you can go in without opening the motor up, pulling the flute tape.
Oh, so you're saying if you open that motor housing, you have to get that recertified?
Right.
Okay.
You
You
go
don't have to
down,
open the
it's
motor, do you? Because the bearings are actually up here and down there.
Well, once you open it
got-
up,
once you open,
Look at the other diagram, Fox, just, not that piece of paper, that's all. That one, like 2 pages in, got a breakdown of the pump.
Page
Page 9. So the motor's in the middle there, and the bearings and seals are up above that, upper and lower. Right? So you don't have to break
Yeah.
the motor open, do you?
but you got a cap there, you actually got plumbers in there where your motor leads go into. And that's right there where your fuel line is, and you stay there.
if you're replacing that bearing, or that bearing. once you-
Here's the motor here.
The whole thing's been submerged.
But there's nothing electrical that's gonna be broken.
Yes, this is
Yeah, if
We
you-
can argue all on that, but.
If you take you're saying if you take the top off, the motor's exposed to change that upper
Right,
bearing
right,
and the lower bearing.
right,
You have to get it recertified.
Yes, sir.
yeah. See, the bottom down there, you just unbolting the wood from the motor itself, which is that double mechanical seal on it. You're not fooling with the other, you just out there replacing the power.
Right.
That's all you have to do.
Right.
Once you go beyond that, let's say you lose your fill inside there, now your windings, your stator and everything is subject to the product that you're pumping. Wastewater, water, whatever the case may be. That's a dead short.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, I mean, why are we getting this as spare parts when we have to send it out to motor shop to have the UL recertified after it's done?
Well, this is what they made us provide on the project.
Have it spec'd out.
But yeah, if you're saying that you have to send it out to a shop to get it UL recertified UL to change these bearings,
Right,
I guess you could provide them the bearings. It would reduce the cost a little bit.
right.
That may help because they're gonna mark those up.
You know, a lot of motor shops don't even do that.
Oh, really?
They'll furnish their own stuff.
They will.
Yeah.
They want to get it and mark it up. I guess I could see that. All right, this is just a copy of the pump curve and data sheet and where the data point is on the pump curve. Thank you. You have Class F insulation, motor shells, cast iron, stainless steel shaft. It's an air-filled motor, tandem double seals. And it's the 3/4 horsepower. This is the parts breakdown of the pump that we were all just looking at. You have your pump case. You guys are familiar with all these. I'll just run through them real quick. Pump case, the impeller, the motor, your end plate there, your upper and lower ball bearings, which are sealed and pre-lubricated. So there's no lubrication that'll need to be done. Washer, the impeller retaining screw, your seal chamber where your oil will be, impeller key, bearing support, gasket, some 4 O-rings there, lower seal and your upper seal, motor cover assembly, and strainer. And we're the 1601, so you do have that strainer down there. The startup procedure for these pumps, I'm not sure if you guys would do this or if that would be operations, but you turn the, before you start up, you're going to want to turn the shaft manually just to make sure it's turning freely. Check the voltage, phase, and frequency of the motor. You want to check the basin to make sure it's free of debris. Lay the pump on its side and apply power briefly to confirm the rotation, proper rotation. Then you want to perform a wet startup test and check for gallons per minute pressure. And on electrical, check your amps and volts, and then just listen for noise and vibration. Make sure everything's running properly. Your safety precautions, these are pretty straightforward here. Before you go working on the unit, just make sure you disconnect and lock out the electrical power of the motor. These are in a sump, I believe, so if the sump is flooded or wet, don't go jumping in it without disconnecting the power and locking it out. Obviously exercise caution working around rotating parts. And when you lift the pump, we talked about using a hoist for these. Use the steel cable and attach it to the lifting handle on the top of the pump. Don't try to lift it out by the power cables. There is semi-annual inspections needed for these pumps every 6 months. It's kind of a checklist to run through. There's nothing going to be really complicated on here. Just make sure the pump's cleaned of any abrasive particles or debris. Same for the wet well. Just make sure the wet well is clean and particle or debris. Pull the pump. Just make sure the impeller is free and clear. Check your voltage and your amp draw. Make sure those are all right. Check for any damage on the cable shield for the wires. Make sure that there's no nick in the cable where water can get in there and drain down to the pump. There is no lubrication needed. These ball bearings are pre-lubricated and double sealed. The most complicated thing you'll have to do is which isn't that complicated, but check the motor housing in the seal chamber for moisture. To check the seal chamber, you're going to tilt the pump towards the seal chamber plugs, drain the contents into a transparent container and allow it to settle. If you see the water is settled below the oil, then you need to check for damaged seals, O-rings, see what needs to be replaced. If there's no water or after you repair the pump, then just refill with clean oil and replace the plugs. Then you'll also want to check the motor housing, make sure that no liquid has gotten in there. If no liquid is present, just we remove the motor housing plug and drain it there's no liquid present, just replace the plug. Everything's fine. If you're finding oil and water, then you want to check out that upper seal. If you're finding water only, might want to check the O-rings to the motor housing. See if those need to be replaced.
What kind of oil goes in it?
It's probably in here somewhere. I'll look it up online. The other part of the system is just the control panel. We use the company called Best Controls. They make some good panels for us. So you have one duplex pump control panel. It's in a NEMA 4 painted steel enclosure. It has a duplex float switch controller with a seal and temperature alarms. So these pumps are being controlled by floats. There's a NEMA 1 motor starters, high water alarm and horn, disconnects, lapse time meters, and off auto pump control switches, pump run lights, and pump alarm trip reset buttons. That's the layout of the panel there with the see up here are the elapsed time meters, disconnects. These are the pump run lights here. These are the pump selector switches, control switches. These are your alarm reset buttons, pump 1, pump 2. And this is the actual float controller here. And then that's the view of the inside of the panel there. And really, the only thing that needs to be done with the control panel, twice a year, just go in there, check the connections. If there's anything loose, just tighten it up. And just visually inspect for any damage that may have occurred. Well, that's pretty much it. You guys think of any other questions? Let me see if I can find where it says.
Well, 20, yeah.
On page 11? Oh, there you go.
224H, we're closing OEL.
224H?
Yeah.
And how much oil does it take, you know, capacity? Did you see that box? They're not real big, so probably.
No, it shouldn't be. Yeah, it shouldn't be that much. You get 2 quarts, and it'll be plenty.